Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is an unusual video for me. I am literally on my couch, pretty sure I'm coming down with something, getting sick, but I did want to respond to a comment that I received. So I got a comment that is, I'm not going to post the comment, but it was basically, what do you do if you're stuck in a payday loan? So, a payday loan is a loan that you get whenever you are between your paydays, obviously. You go to a payday loan location, they verify your income, and you give them your next payday and you give them a post dated check. So, with that being the case, they're holding your check. You're almost spending your money before you get to it. The really bad thing about it is that not only are you spending your money before you get it, but they're also tacking on a ridiculous amount of interest. And so it's really, really, really easy for people to get stuck in a vicious payday loan cycle because you're promising money, you're counting your chickens before they even hatch. And what did your mama tell you? What did your grandma tell you? And PJ Danita's about to tell you the same thing. Never count your chickens before they hatch. Because as soon as you do, guess what? Things are going to continue to spiral out of control. Your car is going to break. Something's going to break at the house. Somebody's going to get sick. Something else is going to happen. Something bad is going to be looming and lurking around the corner. And you're going to have that payday loan that you absolutely have to pay. And so you end up paying it, but because another crisis happens, then you've got to go right back and get another. And so you get stuck in this long, vicious cycle of payday loans. And I get it. I mean, it seems like a temporary fix. It seems like it was a good idea at the time. You needed something. It could be that your car broke down. You need something as simple as a battery in your car, and you don't have an extra $100 or $200. You're gonna go in. You promise you're gonna pay the money back by your next payday, and you do pay it back. But what ends up happening is that that becomes a resource for you. Instead of you buckling down and tightening up on your budget, every time something goes wrong, instead of you having the ability to go to your savings account or an emergency fund, you're headed to the payday loan. And that is absolutely not okay. Because what ends up happening is that there's always going to be a crisis. It always starts out small, but you know how it goes. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And before you know it, this thing has ballooned. It's out of control. The interest has ballooned. It's out of control. And you don't even know where to start. It becomes a part of your routine budget. Your payday loan payment is in your budget just like your utilities, just like your light, just like your rent, just like your car payment. And you do not want to invite this in your life long term. It's never your intention to invite it in your life long term. But believe me, once it creeps into your space, it is so hard to get out. And the reason it's easy to get into your space is because it feels good at the time. When you let a payday loan come into your life, normally it works out the first time and it kind of works out the second time and it may even work out the third time. But what ends up happening is that it's the fourth and fifth and sixth and 12th time, and before you know it, like I said, it's a part of your monthly budget for an entire year because you're always going from one crisis to another. Well, the reason that you don't know how to get out of it is because you are refusing to deal with the pain. At some point, you've got to suck it up and deal with it. And it's going to be painful. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be humiliating. But you need to come clean because going to a payday loan is essentially lying to yourself. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're telling yourself, but this next time, and I'm gonna get caught up. And it's because you're way out of control at that point. You're not telling yourself no. And so it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna have to stop everything. You may be a little bit hungry. You may not get to go as far as you need to go. You may be stripped down to the bare necessities: food, gas, shelter, clothing, and nothing else. But that is what you're going to have to do. And it's not fun. It's horrible. It's ugly. You're going to hate it. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. You're not going to look good. Your kids aren't going to be happy. Your dog's not going to be happy. It is awful. But that is what you're going to have to do. That is the only way that you are going to get out of that payday loan situation. So I'm going to continue to walk you through the steps. If I were you, first of all, I would write down, put it in your debt snowball. If you're not familiar with the Dave Ramsey plan, list your payday loans from smallest to largest. Hopefully, you only have one. Write it down and then just start tackling it. And you have to promise yourself to never, ever step foot in there again. Period. It's not even an option. So I don't care if the car breaks. I do not care if there's nothing to eat. Go eat with your relatives. You cannot keep going in there, because if you keep going in there, you're just delaying the inevitable. You're just dragging it out unnecessarily. And at some point you're going to hit that brick wall, and a payday loan is not going to make it any better. Get yourself through what you absolutely have to have. And after that, go to work, come home, go to sleep, get up, go to work, come home, go to sleep. You have got to, that's it. That's really all you're able to do at this point. You can't do anything extra. You've got to slash everything from your budget until you get this under control. I don't even care if your cable's got to get cut off. You've got to get out of that vicious payday loan cycle. That is not something that you have room for in your budget. So let's talk about it. If you are in that situation, what is it that you can slash? Whenever I do my budget videos for the month, I always list my bills that have to be paid. It looks something like mortgage, car payment, car insurance, utilities, cell phone. List your must haves. Anything outside of that is not a must have. So if there's something like clothing that's in your budget, if there's something like eating out that's in your budget, if going out is in your budget, if you're spending money on any of those things, that anything that basically takes you outside of your house other than work, if you're spending money on it, it's gotta go. That is the only way. You can't afford to eat out. You can't even afford to go see your mother for Mother's Day. You can't afford to see your fathers for Father's Day. You just simply can't afford it. And you've got to tell everybody that you can't afford it. I don't care who's having what event. You may have to miss a friend's wedding. You may have to miss a funeral. You're going to miss some things because your life is completely spiraling out of control. And the only way to get your life back into control is to feel pain. It is not going to be comfortable at all, but it will be worth it. So just stick with me. If you have a payday loan, I don't care if you have to watch this video over and over again. I don't care if you've got to play it on your way to work and on your way back home from work, but you need to figure out what takes you away from your house other than work. Because anything other than that, you absolutely can't afford it. If it's not going to get gas to put in your car and going to get food to eat to bring it back to your house, you can't afford it. You can't even afford to give anybody a ride anywhere. If you have kids who are doing extracurricular activities, you can't afford it. If you've got pet issues, grooming, events that you want to go to, people you want to see, family members, friends, you absolutely can no longer afford it until you get this payday out of your life. So it's just a matter of how bad do you want it. All you really have time for is figuring out how you can make some extra income, because you are in a world of hurt. You're in a world of trouble and you need to get your budget on paper and you need to stick to that budget. That's really all you have time to do, is sit there and focus on your budget. Figure out how you're going to get to work early and how you're going to stay late, how you're going to make some extra money, what your budget says, and how you can get things back under control. because like I said, the next disaster is guaranteed to be looming around the corner. And if you're sitting there with the payday loan, you probably don't have a whole lot of money in your savings account, if anything at all. So draw the line in the sand. Tell yourself that this is no longer an option. This is not a place that I can go ever again. Get yourself out of that payday loan. So thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And you can leave me a comment below. You can ask me a question. I won't post it if it's something extremely private. But you got to get out of the payday loan. There's no room for that in your budget or in your family's budget. Take care, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.